If you were to ask 100 different people, what are the top 3 rules or pieces of advice to starting an online business? I don't think between 100 people, you would be able to narrow it down to 30 consistent things. In fact, I would say the most common things that would be shared by all of those different people would actually be things that aren't true. And so in this episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast, I am going to share with you the 10 lies that we believe about starting a business that aren't true. They may have been true in the past, they may not have been true in the past, but they are certainly not true today. Are you curious? Well, if so, this is going to be such a good episode for you. And this is episode number 420. So all of the show notes and resources that go with today's episode can be found at tashcorbin.com/420. Let's dive in. Hello, I'm Tash Corbin, a business strategist and mentor based on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. The mission of this podcast is to help heart-centered entrepreneurs to make more money, and in doing so, change the world for the better. This podcast was recorded on the lands of the Gubbi Gubbi and Jinnaburra people. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. I'm going to get straight into this one because I want to rattle through this list pretty quickly. Lie number 1, you have to spend money to make money. That is no longer true. And for a lot of people, the fact that they still have that rattling around in their brain means that they actually don't see the opportunities that are available to us as business owners, especially online, as much as those of us who have been able to let that go. It used to be the case that you had to spend money to make money in business because we didn't have access to an audience absolutely free. We didn't have access to free and very, very, very low cost tools that we have access to today. And also we didn't have opportunities to have a platform and make money from sharing our knowledge, from sharing advice, from sharing our healing capacity, from sharing our ability to help people to achieve their goals. The types of things that we do as business owners today didn't exist as businesses in a time when you had to spend money to make money, in a time when you had to craft a product and get prototypes made and ship things and advertise before you ever made a cent in your business. Those realities just are not true anymore. So if you still have that rattling around, you have to spend money to make money, I want you to do some internal reflection. Is that always true? Is that true for the situation that you're applying to today? And are you actually, in fact, better off finding a way to make money without spending money in the first place, to validate your offer, to validate your messaging, to validate what it is that you're doing before you ever spend a cent? That's something that's available to us now. Lie number 2, small businesses take years to be profitable. Again, that used to be true for a lot of different business models. That is no longer a truth. That is no longer true for all businesses. In fact, my business was so profitable in its first year, I had a huge surprise tax bill I had no idea was coming. My accountant underestimated how much profit I could make based on the turnover I had in my business in my first year of business. You can have highly profitable businesses very quickly as an online business owner. And people that I've worked with as clients over even the last couple of years, even if we take into consideration the money that they've invested to work with me, they still have 80%, 90% profitability in their business in their first year. And that's because the cost of entry to business is so much lower these days, and the cost of running a business is so much lower these days as well. So it does not take years for businesses to be profitable, and you can turn your business into a profitable one very quickly with the right strategy. All right, lie number 3. You need to build an audience first. And this is definitely a hangover from probably like the 2010s to 2015s in business, where the most prolific and well-known business owners who emerged in the online space at that time built very large audiences very quickly. And so the strategy that they taught was very audience growth centric because that's what they did. But that audience growth was often available to them organically and far more easily than audience growth is available to people starting a business today anyway. So my take on this is that you do not need to grow a large audience. You do not need to focus on audience growth in the early stages of your business to make money, to make sales, to validate your offer, to validate your messaging, to validate your niche. You just need access to a handful of people. You do not need a big audience. And you're better off validating with a teeny tiny audience that you can reach through your existing network now than you are growing a large scale audience and then testing whether that audience is actually an audience that will buy. Then trying to test what product will this audience buy. I think audience first strategy is actually a very expensive and time intensive strategy in which to start a business in this current iteration of how businesses grow online. And a lot of the people still preaching this whole approach of like build your audience first haven't caught up to date with what it takes to build profitability early in your business these days. A lot of the marketing strategy that you see, a lot of the messaging that you see online is talking about like trying to spread the word about your services and your business and your products any way and anyhow and anywhere and any platform you possibly can. They're very focused on reach as a driver of business growth, but reach is the most expensive and most time-intensive part of your marketing strategy, of your client attraction process, and it's the least likely to result in sales. So rather than being reach-centric, my recommendation is be validation-centric first. So you need to build an audience as one of the first stages or first strategies in your business is a lie. I do not believe that at all. Which brings me to lie number 4, which is that you should follow and copy the experts. And the reason why I say that this is a lie is because in a lot of cases, the self-proclaimed experts aren't as experienced as they would like you to believe, or a lot of the experts and industry leaders started their businesses a long time ago and haven't kept abreast of what the current startup environment and climate is like. And so they're still giving advice based on how they started their business 10 years ago, or how they started their business 15 years ago, or how they started their business even 5 years ago. And that's something that's very important to me as someone who does specialize in helping people start their businesses or in the early stages of their business, is that I am not teaching people how to build their business the way I built my business back in 2013 when I first started, because a lot of the strategies that I used back in 2013 would not and do not work today. They would not have the same level of success and profitability. And so if I just continued to rinse and repeat the same old messaging, the same old strategy, the same old startup strategies and techniques, my clients would be less and less successful in those early stages of startup. That is not the case, because I pride myself on really paying attention to what is validated, what works, what is profitable, and what creates income and sales quickly for startup in this current climate. So you do not need to follow and copy experts and do it exactly the way that they did it, because either they aren't telling the full story, or you don't realize how much money they're spending behind the scenes to get the results that they're getting, or they are saying to copy strategies that are now outdated. Which kind of leads into lie number 5, and that is that there is one right formula or strategy to start an online business. That is a lie. There is no one right formula. There is no one right strategy. There is not one platform to rule them all. What's important is if you are going to start a business, that you find your right strategy, your right process or formula. But that does not come from following what someone else did, right? So that lie number 4, following what the experts say or following experts and copying what they do. But also even just buying into the belief that there is one right strategy can be really dangerous, because what that then sets you up for is looking for that one right thing instead of just implementing the strategy that you have and then adjusting your strategy based on your results and what you are seeing in your business, or what is your strengths or your wheelhouse or what you love doing. Most people who join the Takeoff program, where I help people to get their business off the ground and start making that, regular few $1,000s a month income, most people who come into the Takeoff program are already doing a giant list of 50 things month in, month out, and they're frustrated that it's not making them money, but they're still asking the question like, what am I doing wrong, or what's wrong with this strategy? What's the right way to do this? And actually the whole fixation on trying to find the right way or the one right way is actually the problem. Because the more people you ask, the more advice you'll get, the more you'll be told what you're doing is wrong, or you have to add something else in, or you have to change your messaging this way or change your messaging that way. Instead, remember, there's not one right strategy. Instead, what you're looking to do is build a strategy that fits you, fits your market, fits your products and services, and you're making micro adjustments based on the data and the results and the insights that you get as you implement moving forward. That's far, far more effective. Now, related to that, lie number 6 is that there's some kind of secret to starting a business successfully. Now, this is a lie that's proliferated by marketing people to try and convince you to pay them money, because they're trying to convince you that there's something behind that paywall that's a secret that all successful business owners know, but you just don't know that secret yet because you haven't paid to be part of the posse yet. That is not true. There is no secret. There's no secrets about marketing, about business. It's why I really struggle to be a conspiracy theorist or buy into some of these conspiracies that are out there, because I just don't trust that enough humans could keep that secret together, right? If there was a secret that all $1 million business owners knew, but were refusing to tell people unless they were paid for it, there would be one rebellious millionaire business owner who shared that secret for free, right? We know that to be true of human nature. So don't buy into the lie and believe the lie that there's some secret out there that you just don't know yet. It's not a secret. Everything is on the internet. Everything. It's all there. The big problem that a lot of people face is that there is so much advice on the internet. There's so many different people saying, this is the secret. No, this is the secret. No, these are the secrets, that it becomes overwhelming. There's almost too many secrets. There's too much information on the internet, which is why we need to find a trusted advisor, why we need to have that trusted mentor, or listen to our inner mentor and listen to ourselves more consistently, so that we can stop buying into this lie that there's this secret this one secret, and if you just knew this, everything would be okay. It's not true. There's not this one secret that you just knew everything would be okay. That's not that thing. What it is that you need to design your business strategy and your marketing strategy in alignment with what works for you, what works for your audience, what works for your market, what works for your product. And really, the hard truth of that matter is it takes practice. It takes consistency, and it takes a willingness to fail quickly and make a lot of mistakes. And if you're willing to do that, it's not about getting it right or wrong. It's about doing something and learning, doing something and learning, doing something and learning. That's really what it takes to create and build a business. There are no secrets involved whatsoever. And you definitely do not have to pay someone to know some secret formula. That is just a way of them manipulating you into paying them money. Lie number 7 is that you need to work harder and be hungrier. There's so much hustle culture out there, and I think a lot of people believe this lie that you just have to want it more than someone else. You just have to work harder than someone else. If the hardest working people in the world were the ones who got paid the most, the world would be upside down in terms of the wealth profile that it currently is. Yeah. Like, you do not need to work harder. You do not need to be hungrier. In a lot of cases, that is just turning everything back on you and blaming you for why you haven't got the results you've got just yet, or why someone's strategy hasn't worked for you. Often this is a big one that's used if you join a program, you follow the program, you do exactly what you're told and it doesn't work. They just say, well, you just weren't hungry enough, or you just didn't want it bad enough, or you just didn't have the right mindset. And that's a lie. That's a lie. You don't need to work harder. You do not need to be hungrier. There's also that meme that gets shared around every now and then. It's like, work hard now and do what other people wouldn't do now so that you can have what other people won't have later, and you can reap the rewards that other people won't experience later. Now, I'm not saying that hard work doesn't pay off. Yes, hard work absolutely pays off. But what I am saying is that it is a lie that the only way to create a success and start a business is to work harder, hustle harder, be hungrier, burn yourself out. When you start a business, in fact, you train that business what it can expect from you in terms of time, energy, money, attention, headspace. And so I am a big proponent of start your business in the way that you mean to go on. And if you want to create a lifestyle business, build it around your lifestyle from the outset. If you want to create a business that fills your cup and doesn't burn you out, be mindful of that from day one. Stop convincing yourself that one day you'll have the time, energy, space, and money to be able to relax and take days off as a business owner. Start taking the days off now, because it has been proven time and time again that there's only a certain number of productive hours that we can get out of ourselves, and that the more we boundary up the time that we put into what we're completing, the works that we're doing, right? So Parkinson's law, a project will expand to take up the time that you give it. So if we have boundaries around the time that we give to our business, we will learn how to be far more strategic and effective and productive with that time. You do not need to work harder. You do not need to be hungrier. And you certainly do not need to train your business that it can expect 60-hour work weeks from you from now on. Like, don't do that to yourself. It's a lie. Lie number 8 is that you need to maintain an image. And I say image in inverted commas. A lot of people, when they first start a business, they think they need to put on a professional front. I need to be a very disciplined, professional, corporate-y, stiff business owner. We see it in people's social media content. We see it in the way that they write about their offers and their services. That is an absolute lie. Some of the most successful business owners that I love and admire are so unprofessional if you look at them through a corporate lens, right? Unprofessional. But they make millions and millions of dollars because people love and adore them for who they are. And they don't show up with this like image. They don't project an image. They're not wearing a mask to try and look more businessy. You don't need to in any way conform to anyone else's ideals of what a business owner looks like, what a CEO looks like. In fact, as business owners, we are changing literally the face, the image, the energy of what it means to be a business CEO. Being a CEO, if you look at me, involves working under 15 to 20 hours a week, spending lots of time with your puppies, being very creative, using lots of color, showing up on Facebook Lives with a messy bun and no makeup. Like, if you looked at me showing up in my business through the lens of what does a corporate CEO look like, of course, I don't look like one, but I am a CEO and I'm a very successful business owner. So I want you to collect evidence of all of the business owners that you admire and look at the fact that they don't all show up with like this pretentious mask or this like, look how amazing and spectacular and eloquent I am. A lot of the people that we love and admire and who are CEOs and business owners are just themselves, and they're really human. And that's part of the reason why we love them so much. And so it is a lie that you have to have like this professional image, that you have to have this like corporate-y type model of language or way of talking or writing, or that you have to tick certain boxes. That is not true at all. Lie number 9, and I've just put a big clump of these all together, is any of the you have to do XYZ to sell messaging. So, and a lot of it is the fear-based marketing and the fear-based sales stuff. So things like, if you don't buy things quickly, you'll attract people who don't buy quickly from you. Or if you don't say that there's limited spaces, people won't buy from you. Or if you don't use countdown timers, people won't be motivated to purchase. You have to really dial into people's pain points and exacerbate them and agitate them for them to be uncomfortable enough to take action. You need to use persuasion and manipulation to get people to buy from you. Blah, blah, blah. It's all lies. There is no need, there is no necessity to use any fear-based marketing, any toxic marketing, any agitation marketing, any admiration or aspiration marketing. You can use consent-based, heart-centered, deeply connected, powerfully honest, very gentle marketing strategies and make millions and millions of dollars. It is an absolute lie that you have to use any of those toxic traits, toxic strategies, any of that kind of stuff. I saw someone recently who actually labeled a lot of the things I would call toxic marketing strategies as abusive marketing strategies. And it gave me like goosebumps. I was like, you know what? Like a lot of it is abusive. Like it's gaslighting. It's minimizing people's lived experiences. It's dialing up their shame. It's tapping into their worst beliefs about themselves. And that's abuse. And you do not need to resort to any of that kind of trickery or any of those kinds of tactics in order to successfully start a business at all. And then lie number 10 is Facebook pages are dead. Webinars are dead. Low ticket is dead. High ticket is dead. Payment plans are dead. Whatever else is dead. Every single marketing strategy, platform, I mean, some of them actually have been closed. That definitely is dead, right? Rest in peace, Periscope. Does anyone remember Periscope? That was fun for a hot minute. But marketing strategies and different tools and platforms and tactics come and go. And they come into favor and out of favor and into favor and out of favor. I remember in 2014 when leads from Facebook started to go up above around $1 a lead, there were fearmongers running around Facebook saying, paid Facebook marketing is dead. Facebook ads are far too expensive. There is no way anyone can do Facebook ads profitably anymore because ads have become far too saturated and it's far too much to get leads from Facebook. People today would give their left arm for dollar leads, right? But back then we were getting 10-cent leads and then it was 20-cent leads and then it was 50-cent leads. And then when it went over $1, it was like, you might as well not even bother. It's too expensive. Similarly, I have seen webinars be the best lead magnet, the worst lead magnet. Webinars are dead. Webinars are back in favor. High connection marketing strategy, low connection marketing strategy. All your income should be passive. None of your income should be passive. Everything should be low ticket. Everything should be high ticket. In-person events can't work ever again. In-person events are all in favor again. Live webinars are the best. Live webinars are a waste of time. Pre-recorded webinars are the best. Pre-recorded webinars have no connection, right? anyone telling you that a certain strategy doesn't work anymore or isn't in favor or is dead or you shouldn't worry about it, or if you're not doing this, you're leaving money on the table. Now everyone should be here. Everyone should be there. In fact, it's all lies. And in fact, the more you buy into that, the more you will find yourself chopping and changing your strategy so many times even you can't keep up with yourself. Instead of buying into all of that, why not stand solid on your ground, knowing what is your strategy? And if people are telling you webinars are dead, don't go and look for evidence that they're right. If you run webinars consistently and webinars are still working for you, collect evidence that webinars work for you. If everyone on the internet says webinars don't work and webinars are a terrible strategy, guess what has very little competition space? Running webinars. So when you run webinars that are amazing and give a lot of value, people will be running to sign up for them because not a lot of people are running webinars at the moment. So sometimes bucking the trend is actually a better marketing and business strategy anyway. And one of the big things that happened in April of 2022, when there was a big algorithm update on Facebook and Facebook pages were deprioritized in the algorithm, was that a lot of marketing gurus and experts, not me, were running around the internet telling everyone, look at this algorithm change. Facebook is getting rid of pages. Pages are dead. The only reason to be on pages is to run ads now. You'll never get organic reach on pages again. And a lot of people abandoned their Facebook pages. And then 6 months later, there was another algorithm update and pages were reprioritized in the algorithm. But everyone who had abandoned their Facebook pages couldn't reinvigorate them again because they'd abandoned them. And then when there was a further update in early 2024, people who had been consistent with creating and sharing content on their Facebook pages were brilliantly rewarded when Facebook had another algorithm update that highly prioritized original content creators. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, that wasn't them. They didn't get to experience that amazing reward because they had bought into all of that fear-based stuff around Facebook pages are dead, don't worry about Facebook pages anymore, blah, 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 blah. And they had abandoned their Facebook pages or they'd stopped paying attention to optimizing their content on their Facebook page. So if anyone tells you a certain strategy or a certain platform just does not work, then what you need to do is remember what they are actually saying is, I don't know how to make that strategy work, or I don't know how to make that platform work. If someone says Facebook pages don't work, they are saying, I don't know how to make Facebook pages work. If someone says webinars don't work, they are saying, I don't know how to make webinars work. On the other side, if someone says the only way to make sales of your course is to run 5-day challenges, what they're actually saying is the only way I know how to make sales of courses is through running 5-day challenges. So don't believe the lie that certain strategies don't work or only one certain strategy works these days, and instead set about finding the rhythm, the strategy, and the processes that work best for you and your business. So that closes up the 10 lies we can sometimes believe about starting a business. I've got an amazing free resource for you and it's been updated recently. It's my Fast Track Your Business training. This is where I take you through the things that are solid in creating and building a business online that are going to fast track your income, your profit, and your sales, regardless of what platform, strategy, or marketing approach you use. So come to the show notes of today's episode at tashcorbin.com/420 and register for my free Fast Track Your Business training today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. Don't believe those lies.